In 2019, per year road expenses are $73,000. And that's without emergencies, and that's just the break even. That's just expenses on the road if you want to be comfortable. So that's your standard, $73,000 a year. That's what you have to make just to survive. Road expenses is they don't take a day off. It's every single day you're going to have to come up with $200 a day to maintain a comfortable but not stupid lifestyle. So that this $1,400 a week isn't some kind of like business investment or money that's ever going to come back to you. It's just money right out the window. It's your cost to pay to play or to live this life. The issue that gets most players that go out on the road full time is emergencies. Their car, they'll blow a transmission and that's it. They're limping home if they can get home. Or they're borrowing money just to get home, get their car fixed. It's relentless. It's every day. Another day is over and another $200 is gone. So you're forced to keep making more and more and more money. And big scores aren't as big as you think they are because they just get eaten up by road expenses. It's, if you like to live comfortably and you like to have a roof over your head and you like to eat good food, that's if you don't have any vices. If you drink, God help you. If you do drugs, God help you, because your expenses just go through the roof. So you would think that a great tournament player wins $5,000 in a monthly tournament and then wins the next one, that he's doing really great. But the reality is he's almost bust. If not bust, it's because the cost of doing this just eats it up. So it becomes night in and night out every single day. You become a slave to it if you want to continue this lifestyle. So it's not like this stress-free, the world is my oyster kind of existence. It's just not like that at all. When I was young, what attracted me to pool was the whole subculture of it, the whole rebelliousness and the whole kicking on the door and throwing insane amounts of money on the table, matching up and riding off into the sunset, and all the freedom to live out society's laws and rules and ways. It was the whole nature and romance of it. But what people don't understand, especially young players, is for each one of those gambling matches, there's a loser who leaves desperate and broke. And this is the old days and the old ways, and what writers write about is 5-minute glimpses into these huge lives that are filled with desperation and loneliness and sadness and hatred. So you're just seeing the best of the best. And there's still about 6 or 7 guys in the country that the pool world doesn't even know about, that are still doing it. But they're not happy. Their nerves are shot. It's not the existence that people think it is, or that it once might have been. It's not what you think it is. There's never that moment where you're like just free from worry and you're just
traveling around the country, enjoying your life, and just taking whatever you want. It never happens, and that's all just a romantic notion that you see in movies. There's always something to worry about in pool because every time you break the balls, you have a brand new set of problems that you have to come up with solutions for. So there's always great players out there ready to take advantage of any little mistake you make. So you get as good as Efren or Shane Van Boning, and you're not free from worry because a player like Jason Shaw is going to jump all over you as soon as you make the slightest little mistake. So there's always that, I wouldn't call it fear, but concern with making a mistake, and it's just human, we all make them. So basically, the idea of being a pro and as being up to your potential is in making the fewest amount of mistakes of anyone in the room or in the tournament, and the guy that makes the fewest mistakes wins. And so really good players know this, but that doesn't mean they're immune to mistakes. It's not a matter of getting in your car and setting out for total freedom from stress and just taking what you want. No one ever gets to that place, not for long, and especially not if they're not on drugs. Cocaine will make you feel that way, but it's false. And as soon as you do make that first mistake and you get your ass handed to you, the reality of drugs hit you. And if you are on drugs, you have a whole new set of problems and worries, especially about how the hell you're going to afford to keep doing it.
Alright, with all that reality and negativity out of the way, I would like to say that there are still ways to live your pool player dreams. With the big difference is you're just going to have to be a little bit smarter and a little bit more careful. You can still do this, it's just not the fantasy you have in your head.
What most top players do is, because the tournaments are, the bigger ones are mostly on the weekends, they'll do the traveling, and so they'll try to stay semi-close to wherever they live, and instead of going on the road full-time, they'll just be like part-time weekend warriors and travel back home, late Sunday night after that tournament is over, and they pick up their money. They'll take it home instead of spending it on the road and trying to get to the next city. Of the guys who make it today full-time on the road, which is very, very few people, just a handful of people, the successful ones who can do it year in and year out, they have other income sources. They have some kind of small business that pays for the road expenses, and then pool just becomes the gravy, which is great, but they still have to play great day in and day out, because if they just keep on losing, that blown transmission is going to send them home, just like the other guys. That's the way to do it. Set up some kind of internet business that you can run anywhere, or some kind of small laborious business that you can take with you, and set up some kind of foundation in every city you're heading to, and you're going to have the ability to do it fast. You don't have the luxuries of years of building your reputation. And you got to have business before you get there. Just waiting for it. So that's the way to do it, and that's the way I would recommend anyone do it, no matter how great they are. So every city you stop at, you can set up a business to pay all your expenses. So then the tournament that you win in Cincinnati, and suddenly you have, a couple $1,000 extra in your pocket that you should stick back for emergencies. And then you can relax and just enjoy your life. Do something that you love to do, otherwise you're going to hate your life. I know a guy, and in fact, most of you watching this video know him too. 30 years ago, he went out on the road full time, and it was a one-man landscaping operation. And he's still out on the road today doing what he does. And he's very, very good at what he does. He's a very good pool player too. But it got to the point where he couldn't do both. He had to pick one. And it's because a lot of these tournaments, they don't get over till like 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And so when you're running a full-time business to keep you on the road, at the same time you're trying to play pool full-time, you can do it for so long, but when you start getting older, you can't physically do it anymore. So, because of the state of the pool world and the fact that no one can play flawless every time they play, and because of all the great players out there in the competition, all striving for the same goal, only one can win the tournament. It just got to the point where he was actually losing money by playing pool because it was affecting his work, and his landscaping business was consistent money, and pool was iffy money that he couldn't count on. So the only way he could stay on the road was to put an end to it. He still plays, and he still plays very good. And he just got old. He's in his 60s now, and he couldn't do both. But he lives his life, and he's more successful than ever. His business is booming, and occasionally he'll pop into a tournament and say hi to everybody. Kind of sad. It's a sad reality of age, At least he's still happy. Don't run with losers. They'll drag you down. There's a lot of stupid shit on the road. A lot of desperation. A lot of drugs. A lot of violence. A lot of alcoholism. And it's all fun and games until someone is actually physically hungry and has no place to lay their head, and all of a sudden good people start doing horrible things. So be very, very, very careful about getting wrapped up in that. I don't want to preach at people too much, and a lot of this is just common sense. I just want people to know the reality of the road. And it's not always sightseeing and getting laid. Set your standard before you go on the road.
know your comfort level, know how you like to live, and make that your base, and then don't lower that standard.
What a lot of players attempt to do is go out and do it full time, and then they realize how expensive it is, and they start cutting corners and lowering their cost of living. And I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would recommend maintaining a standard and insisting on it, because you can go as low as you want to go. You can keep going lower and lower and lower until you're sleeping in the woods and not spending anything. Don't do that to yourself. Find a standard and maintain a standard, and then capitalize on your freedom and win. Just win. And don't be an idiot about it. I'm not saying to be some kind of uptight, nervous prick who just is miserable. If you're a good player and you do everything right and you're making it out there, by all means, man, enjoy your life. Stop and smell the roses and be proud of yourself. Have a drink or two and relax. Just don't be an idiot about it, because that's what sets every single one of us back. And if you want to keep going, you're going to have to be both smart and prepared and willing to work your ass off. But yeah, stop. Enjoy yourself.
Some of the issues within this next subject are liable to get me in trouble. But whatever. I think what I'm trying to say here is, if you're a pool player, you are not a normal person. Alright? You're going to have to come to terms with that. If you're a real serious pool player with a real serious dream about being a professional pool player, chances are very good that you're never going to have the house and the garden and the kids and the happy wife and the in-laws and the big wedding. You're a pool player. You're not that guy. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say. And if you can't handle that, then I suggest taking up another profession.
I gotta find a way to say this without sounding like a sexist idiot. Inevitably, what happens is people go out there and they wind up meeting the person of their dreams, you know? The person they fall in love with and want to marry and spend the rest of their life with. And it gets to the point where I'm willing to do anything in the world for this person. So the first thing that gets sacrificed is this crazy bohemian lifestyle, running around the country without a real home, without a real life, without a real house, without a real, the woman's the nester, and she might run with you for a couple of years, but it's gonna come down to I want more. I want to have a family and kids, and I want stability. Next thing you know, pool player disappears into normalcy. So the whole playing life is really an acceptance of complete abnormalcy, complete dysfunction. It's a surrender to the whole, not just the game, but the whole life. So if you're young and you're wanting to go for it and dedicate your life to this game and the road, you're gonna have to realize that it's gonna come with some major sacrifices. And it's more of a major acceptance that there's no bank that's ever going to give you a mortgage based on your pool income. It's not going to happen. It's acceptance that you can't slow down. You got to keep running. You got to run and run and run and run. And it doesn't matter that you're too tired or you're too burnt out or you're too pissed off. It doesn't matter. You have to do it. So these are things that you're really going to have to think about. If you're really truly intent on setting out on doing this, you can't have both ways. You can't. The job and the school and the car and the 3.2 kids. It does not mix with pool. It just doesn't. And not to say there's anything wrong with that bohemian lifestyle if you're intelligent enough to handle it. And I think it's fascinating and unique, and these are things books are written about. Nobody writes about having 3.2